Welcome to the Augur Working Group meeting on September 3rd, 2023. I have pasted the minutes into the chat, and I will now share my screen containing those minutes. Please feel free to add your name. If you hear garage noise, which has started, I don't know how much you can hear it. I have my door closed, but it's kind of loud, so just let me know if it becomes too disturbing. Things that I have on the agenda for today are, first off, questions. Is there any questions folks want to ask about Augur or have us cover during this particular session? Don't everybody speak at once. Everything's going great. Your Augur experiences are fantastic. You don't want to discuss any features, problems, stuff that you want now, things that you've been doing. Critique, Andrew. Anything? Okay, Don?
Just like general things?
Anything.
Or,
yeah.
I started working on I met up with Carter a day or two ago, and we started working on converting those Python notebooks that were, or the Python files, which are the Jupyter notebooks for the community reports, and converting those into the API endpoints in Augur.
And that will deliver the image files with captions via an API in Augur. Is that my right? Am I remembering that's what we're doing there?
Yes.
Correctly? Okay. So that's pretty exciting. It's likely Gabe also wants to show those on a page. What those give us the opportunity to do is share some of the more complex visualizations in a way that users can easily download, access, and share. So that's pretty exciting. Pratik, any updates from you? Anything you want to ask?
No, I just came here for the pull request review that I had submitted earlier.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I think, let's see I think it still failed when I was looking at it.
Yeah, actually I solved the issues related to the worker on which I worked, and it is failing for the other two workers, like discourse analysis worker, clustering worker, and the pull request worker that were made by the Akshara and Sarit.
Yeah, Sarit and I have been playing phone tag. He's in Chicago. So what I have to do is make sure that merge what I am okay. So here's my hesitation. I made the mistake somewhere along the line of bringing someone's branch, quote unquote, up to date with dev, that it was out of date with dev. And I don't know. There's 7 files changed in this pull request. Config.py. Yeah, I like those changes. This is the documentation. This is the notebook. This is the test. Is this a change to the core insight worker?
Where?
Is this the change to the core insight worker?
Yes.
Okay, and then this is removing something from the insight worker. Tell me
Yes.
about that removal. Because
Okay.
this is not this is the insight. This is the original insight worker, right?
Yes. Yes.
And so you took this out. Why?
Yeah. Earlier I had implemented this, so I actually changed a little bit. I added the contamination factor, like the threshold value will change as per the contamination value.
Okay, so you've sort of changed it down here to,
Yes, and
all right,
some that local and global outlets.
all right, okay. In the insight worker, you set CHAOSS to a specific version.
Yeah, actually
And
it is uploading the TensorFlow means installing. So it is not installing the most updated version. So I had to degrade the Keras version little bit.
okay. And the Travis branch is failing.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's due to the other workers.
yeah, no module found. sklearns scrf suite in the discourse analysis worker.
Below is the three mentioned worker.
Looks like, all right. Um, I don't see so let's see. So this pull request is going from critique to CHAOSS.Augur.Sept.3.2020.
Yes.
My only concern is the last time I merged it, I clicked the button. I don't see the button here. Bring this branch up to date with the current branch.
Oh, actually, maybe last time I had not updated, but this time I merged the updated changes in the GSOC. So I already committed in my branch.
Okay. And all right. There's a chance this is gonna. I'm gonna merge it. There's a chance this is gonna break dev but I didn't see anything in there that had all of the things from GSOC dev that when I merged into dev broke dev and Carter had to fix. So at the end of the call, we'll check back and see if I broke dev again. And if I did, then Carter will not be super happy with me. So, okay, peer review, okay. Merged, still issues with Sarit's branch. Got looked and did not see breaking changes from updating dev previously. Carter knows how to fix that. It's just Carter's my 11 o'clock, so we'll see how that works. Uh, any other things folks want to bring up? Don, is everything? Are you guys using Augur still? Is it still working for you? Are there things
Yeah,
you want
I
to see?
just ran the reports for last month. I just need to validate them, make sure that they look good. I haven't had time to do that.
Yep.
And I also, there's some little bits and bobs that I wanna work on, and I just haven't frankly had the time. I was out for a
Yeah.
week, which means that this week I have literally been in just back-to-back meetings
Oh my God. Being
all
gone.
day.
that's the one benefit of this whole pandemic is I haven't been able to travel, so I haven't ever had all of the travel debt that has previously, been sort of central to my life.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I
uh,
took a week off. We didn't do anything exciting. We rented a cottage on the south coast of England, but
nice.
um, yeah, it was really nice. But I'm just paying for it. And tomorrow is
Uh,
a company-wide holiday, so this is my Friday. So now everything that is due next week has to be done today.
Excellent.
So yeah, I also owe
Um,
you a reply to your email about community reports. The answer is yes, that looks very exciting, but I need to figure out which one
yeah,
we do.
yeah. So my thought was, I'll bias you. When I looked at them, I the when the commits, but like commits by day of the week was on top. I I didn't like it because I didn't think it gave the boom pow of here is something I can't find on GitHub. Um, like you can't actually get cumulative day of week when the commits are happening on GitHub. You can get them for the previous week. The three other visuals really give you something new, and so that was my bias. But I wanted to maybe if Jonas takes a look at it, or I mean the idea is this is just like a taste, right? We just want people new to the project to get a taste, and so um, it's not urgent by any means. We're still working on our bureaucracy. Uh,
Cool.
if you have any, I will ask if you have any like notebooks that you want to push to the notebook directory, the Augur Pivotal repo, or anything that you're willing to share notebook wise. Obviously not with Pivotal data, but stuff that you've done that you'd be willing to share with the community. We would love to get a look at that and do some of what Andrew's done to some of the other reports. You don't need to say anything right now, but we would just love to have those insights and have those insights incorporated into Augur if there's a point at which you feel like sharing them, and we can do all the standardization stuff.
Yeah. To be honest, I'd be happy to share any of the ones in that repo. None of them are anything. I mean, they need to be sanitized, obviously, and
Yeah.
standardized. But I'm
You,
happy to share any of them. What I can do is I can send you the ones that I'm actually using to generate the graphs that
oh,
we physically use.
okay. That would
Um,
be great. That would be
yeah.
really fantastic. I guess you're keeping that repo current. I haven't even looked. I confess. I've been like letting that be your
Uh, y-
repo.
yeah, it's current because I haven't worked on it in 2 months. So yeah,
Okay. And
I'll do
then
that. I'll add that to my task list to send you the names of the notebooks that I think would be most useful. But you're welcome
uh,
to use anything in that directory.
yeah, well, the names of the ones that are most useful, I think, are probably that's where we would begin, of course.
Yeah.
Um, okay. And then there's a few new features coming along in Augur. One of them Andrew mentioned. We still have Augie. If anyone wants to get Augie set up, I can show you how to do that. That's for Slack notifications of anomalies. And to be honest, I've done a video on it before. I've shared it in this meeting. And if anyone just wants a overview of it, there's a little bit of I think it's pretty stable, but you have to know a few things that they're like you have to know the port that your API is being served on, for example, which is a little inconvenient. But I'll put together probably a Medium post about it and maybe a video here this week. There's also Carter is creating a command line for loading repo groups, but we also have something called Augur Face. Right now, it only runs locally, but if you know the domain, I, I, I'm not ready to demo it, but maybe I'll throw a video up there. Essentially, you can clone Augur, uh, configure the augur.config.json, and run a copy of it locally. I'll try to set that up so that it's easier to do. We haven't put it on the internet because although it does require an Augur token that's unique to your installation, we're still a little nervous about giving CRUD operations to the whole internet without some kind of substantial login. But it is a way that people can load their own repos, and so I'm getting on. I'm getting onto that. Comparisons. I wanted to do just a quick demo. There's a couple things not working in the current Augur front end that one of our folks, Andrew, I believe Carter is helping out Ryland on this right now to make the Insight worker page be more useful. I don't have any insights for this one yet. And for repos to actually show repos. I'm not in Firefox, I'm in Chrome. And so if I want to go to, these are, let's see. So this is a set of repos we put together for UNICEF. And it's taken a little while to run the front end because I'm running some back-end processes. But you can still sort these by either total commit count or total issue count, and see a lot of information. So if I just make a note that eTools and RHIZ, and eTools partner. So if I'll just make a note that those have a lot in them. I'm working with Matt Snell at UNO to update the SPDX worker so that the risk data is generated automatically. Because right now the risk data, I have to kind of like jangle it in, and it's kind of annoying. And I want to, basically it's going to be a Docker container eventually, hopefully here in the next week. And eTools partner. eTools partner, probably partner reporting. All right, so if I apply that inside of Augur, this takes a second to generate. Speed of interface, never been our strength. That's why we're working towards the APIs with visualizations. But you can still do these comparisons where if you want to understand a set of repositories in contrast with each other, it's super easy to, relatively super easy to identify the repos that you're interested, that you've been tracking. And this is changes or commits per week. So you can see Rhizome had a lot of changes this week, early on. It hasn't had much activity. eTools code changes. eTools has been pretty consistently active, and this Rhizome project kind of stopped, but eTools partner reporting portal has picked up, and you can see that in code changes per week, and where the projects are using GitHub issues or GitLab issues, you can see that in here. And these are the closed issues in a week, new issues, pull requests, reviews, and then the ones declined and accepted in a given week. It can give you a sense of how projects compare with each other. These may not be meaningful to you or me, but they can all also be downloaded if you've done those comparisons so that you can get visualizations from them. And I wanted to just point out that the Augur front end does still have some interesting and useful stuff in it. We also have down at the bottom of any Augur instance a way to get to our website, CHAOSS website, our documentation, which is at readthedocs.io, and you can see that there. Our documentation has been substantially updated over the last few months. We also give you a direct link to submit an issue to GitHub, bug report, feature request, security vulnerability, anything that you find in Augur. If you go to an Augur instance, Augur.Sept.3.20 continues to be active and provides this interface. And then finally, we do take you to the Augur website where it says we're going to redirect you to our website. That's a long story, but basically the AugurLabs.io is a database server and www is in another place. But we do have a place where you can put in your name and request a number of repos or GitHub organizations. So anybody that's new to Augur that wants to ask for organizations, you could type in github.com/chaos/wg common, which is my next call after this. Or you could just type in a list of organizations and we would figure that out. Like I might be interested in just Augur Labs or Socially Compute, which are some of my domains, or MU Software Engineering, which is where my class is. And then you just give us an email and we'll build you an Augur instance. This is going to send an email to me, and I don't something about me and not knowing enough about button coding on WordPress. If I hit submit, the submit button looks grayed out, but in fact it's not. And then you get this little explanation of what you get and how long it'll take. So the main function of how long things take is how long you how much you're asking for. So like UNICEF wanted what ended up being 890 some repos, so that took a little while to gather data on. But you know, so there's this new way of getting access to Augur data, which is kind of, I think, useful. Let's go back here, hit the meeting notes again. So comparisons, and then oops, waiting for Google. It's waiting for Google Play. That's weird. I don't know. I thought Google Play was gaming, so .io. Oh, and it's www. You'll get there faster if you type the www in until I fix that. Now has an Augur instance request form, which is pretty exciting. There are also new Medium channels associated with Augur. There's actually 2 of them. One of them is entirely focused on Augur. Here you're going to see all of the ugliness of my own mediumness. So we have one post on the Augur Labs Medium channel right now, and it's really a focus on some of the stats that we did for real-time operating systems that allowed the Zephyr project in particular to understand how quickly their pull requests and new contributor statistics were comparable. And so we explain some of that in this post here.
Is that also posted on the CHAOSS blog?
It is. So
Okay, cool.
What I've been doing is federating things on the CHAOSS blog and on this blog. So this was actually originally a post on the CHAOSS blog, and then I federated it to Medium. And
Cool.
so that'll go both ways. And the CHAOSS blog is, we started a couple of Medium blogs, Matt and I. Primarily, there's a CHAOSS blog, an actual CHAOSS Medium channel that we haven't posted anything yet, and it's mostly because we haven't made it a topic of a meeting, because we think not all content on the CHAOSS blog is going to make sense for the Medium blog, because, for example, some of our CHAOSS blog content is super technical and isn't going to reach an audience that is big very well. It won't be well understood or received by the folks that you're trying to reach with a Medium blog. The other thing is Matt and I, because we didn't want to do anything in the advance in the name of CHAOSS without naming CHAOSS, Matt and Kevin and I did some work with open source scientific software in partnership with the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, using Augur, and also doing a lot of manual qualitative coding and thematic analysis. And this first post really focuses on the thematic analysis that we did. The second post, which is on me, focuses on how I've compared Augur to, I'm not Augur, I've compared corporate open source software with scientific open source software. And there is a big difference in a couple of areas. The first area that I think that would be generally interesting is that a lot of open source scientific software people come to it accidentally. Their lives are not building open source software, and yet they often accidentally end up building and distributing giant R packages and end up making huge impacts in the scientific community. My favorite example is a gentleman whose name I'm going to forget right now because I have to remember it. Oh God. I'm standing up looking for his book. Okay, all right. I'm going to find it before the end. But there's a gentleman at who is at Rice University who built something called ggplot2 and also the tidyverse set of tools for R that have been phenomenally impactful in the scientific research community. And he didn't get tenure at Rice because he didn't write enough papers or get enough grants. He just created software that has enabled science literally for thousands of biologists and data scientists around the world. And now he was the last time I checked, the CTO at our studio.
Is he Hadley Wickmans?
Hadley Wickham, yes, I've met him, and I feel like I've corresponded with him, and I feel like, God, why can I never remember his name? But I mean, I think the sort of the Hadley Wickham story is something to look at, and ggplot2, which, if you're familiar with graphics, it's one of the few tools that follows the grammar of graphics literally. And what that means is sometimes visualizations can misrepresent the data because they scale things incorrectly or show data sort of in a distorted fashion. And the grammar of graphics essentially is a language for accurately representing data graphically. So it follows the grammar of graphics. Something he's not responsible for, that another person I know and can't remember their name of, who's at Washington now, wrote D3, the JavaScript library, also follows the grammar of graphics. And now these were the leaders in grammar of graphics.
Even I would add to this that in Python, I have started using ggplot instead of Matplotlib.
Yeah, because
it's like you use the same code, same language, just import that library, and in Python you're good to go. So I was transitioning from R to Python, and I felt like I don't need to learn Matplotlib. I can just use my existing knowledge in ggplot.
Yeah, yeah. He's one of my heroes. I really appreciate Hadley Wickham and the work that he's accomplished, um, more than I can say. And I'm gonna just give him props because my aspirations are for Augur and for everything that we do here graphically, that it lives up to the standard that I think he set more than 10 years ago now. So also, I'll just add that open source God, I can't spell science. Scientific? Is that how you spell? No. Jeez. This is embarrassing. It's all recorded for posterity. Software differs significantly. So from, I would call it corporately supported open source. And a lot of it is just the nature of the work. In fact, I don't know if any of you remember James Bain, but he was a student of mine who was at Open Source Summit North America in Vancouver. And he is now a postdoc at a biology lab. He's an anthropology PhD who did open source work and is now using his data science skills in a bio lab. And they don't use any version control at all in that lab. And so science is a very interesting space to be. So that's that. The next thing I want to talk about, we sort of talked about a little bit already. I'm trying to like prevent that like bleed over from page to page, but I just can't do it. Is as reports are released into, I'm just going to put the full link, github.com, CHAOSS.Augur community reports. They will be also transitioned into API calls that you can make on any Augur instance, so that you can get captioned reports automatically. And I think probably what we'll do is I don't know, Andrew, you and I haven't talked about this. I think I have sort of two ambitions. One would be to deliver just the straight up graphics as downloads for people, so they would get every visualization as a file, and then they could place it in a PowerPoint or wherever. The other thing I'd like to see us enable is that people could select particular reports, comparing particular repos, and download a PDF with even maybe text that they insert, or maybe a Word doc would be easier, so they could convert it to PDF later and have kind of a full report straight out of an API call. That's something Andrew's working on right now. I'm pretty excited. I actually already covered comparisons earlier on in the call, and I'll say that we are very excited about getting the last little, what do I call them? Like, they're not bugs, but what's something that's just an annoying, like gnats. Last little gnats out of the GSOC dev branch, and doing a release with all of the really cool machine learning notifications. And those would come through the Slack bot. So they would come through the Slack bot, and they would also come through the Insights dashboard, which we are working on right now. Notifications. and insights dashboard. So yeah, that is what I have on the agenda for today's meeting. Are there other questions, other things folks would like to talk about?
I do have another question, and
Yeah.
so I was looking at my reports in Augur for August, and I suspect that the instance maybe stopped running at some point because there's a big drop off in all of the projects that I looked at. So not during this call. I don't want you to waste time during this call, but after you finish, can you just have a quick look at my instance and make sure that it's still running and still gathering data?
Here's I believe so we have, I'm going to give away a little technical issue. I've been trying to, so we have a contributor worker. The contributor worker synthesizes and creates aliases for every email contributor in a commit log. However, when it's doing that mapping, it has to update pull requests, issues, commits, and contributors tables. Those are the tables that all of the other workers are committing to. So when in running contributors, I shut down the other workers to avoid conflict. And it's September 3rd, and I did that late last week. So I suspect all I have to do is turn off the contributor worker and turn back on the facade worker, and in less than 24 hours, all of your data will be up to date. That was me trying to just, I wanted to, because I know that reconciling the multiple different emails that users use is something that is important. And so I was trying to get that work done, but
Yeah.
I did not. I will fix that. We have a moment between the two calls. I want to give you good news, which is that I actually did the language distribution metric definition. So when we get to common, I actually have something that I have finally accomplished.
Sweet.
And I don't have to be embarrassed during the common call this time. It was one of my goals to stop showing up to working group meetings and saying, yeah, I didn't do that again. And so first I'm going to restart your instance, and then I'm going to join the common call. Are there any other questions or things that folks would like to talk about with regards to Augur? I guess one final thing that I'll mention right now is that the most up to date branch for the next few days is Sean Dev. And that is because I merged GSOC into Dev. It broke Dev. Having Dev broken's really, really hard. It stops everything else. And so Carter unbroke Dev. And now we're working on getting all of the Sean Dev stuff back into Dev without me, which should be not a problem at all, honestly. But I haven't done it yet. And Ivana, I can actually look right now.
I just forgot to add my name.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I believe I have to look. But when I restart the pivotal instance here in a second, I'm going to know for sure if we've got everything. I haven't looked. I've started the worker that you did. That again, my brain is not remembering things today. The release worker, and I think it's working now. And I'll confirm that I'll confirm that with Dawn and you on Slack.
Does it work with your tag repos? I mean, the repos that have only tags. I tested this with Pivotal repos only. It should work with your use case as well. But
yeah, if it's working with Pivotal repos, that's the most important thing. And the important thing is to not run any of the other workers besides the release worker from your workstation, because then that will mean that we have multiple instances of Augur trying to load stuff in the same database. That would be bad for the pull request and issue and commits. But it's fine for releases. Like I could have 11 Augur instances running on releases, and it just would be inserting data, and it doesn't affect anything else. But issues, commits, and pull requests obviously are a spider web of component parts that we don't want multiple Augur instances running on. So, but I know you know that, so I'm just repeating it because of my own nervous need to chatter. And I think did you have any questions, Ivana, or?
For now, no.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. I'm going to stop recording and